Today, I want to talk about taking personal responsibility for living a life of truth. And I want you to take a moment to see how that lands for you in your body. What would you have to do? Who would you have to be to live completely a life of truth, a life of honesty, transparency? What's the responsibility? Or maybe what's the responsibility you don't want to have because you're living a life of truth? See, that's something to think about. Noticing in places in your life that you are not being completely honest, and how sometimes it can feel like a sham. Right now, where there is just so much illusion in front of us, right? We live in a world full of Maya, especially out in the world of social media. I think that's where you see it the most, where it's so heavily present, where you can feel when something is not true. If you're really like in tuned, you can feel when something is not authentic. You can feel it. And I want you to think about, how are you contributing to all that? Because we're surrounded by that, of people exaggerating things, people like lying about things and not being authentic, not really being themselves. Or sometimes it's, they're expressing themselves, but it's all a performance. And that's basically it. Performing is not real, right? They're performing something. For many reasons, right? For approval, validation, in order to get something. I think that in a lot of the things that we see out there, especially in the personal and spiritual development area, where a lot of people, there's a few like influencers or content creators, healers, coaches, whatever, they will present something to their audience that may not be true. So for example, like someone posting that they made so and so numbers in their business, and it's not true. Just this morning I saw a couple, beautiful, beautiful couple, gorgeous, but their content was so performative. And it's kind of like, what's underneath all that? Because I want to see more vulnerability, you know? People can see when you're lying. You can feel it. And yeah, some people will buy it. So people do these performances in order to get something, to extract, to manipulate, in order to receive something that they want. And most of the time it really is that they're selling something. They're presenting something to you. And as the viewer, right? Like and that being in that constant consumption, right? And we live in a world where where you're not enough, you're not good enough, you're not doing enough, so buy this so that you can get this, right? And it's a constant thing that we see, right? I mean, that's why you know, there's ads, you know, where they present these beautiful images of models and clothes and get the best new thing kind of situation, you know? And everyone's doing it. This is not just from like big corporations, but even in the spiritual and personal development, they're using kind of like the same tactics, you know? And some you can feel that it's genuine, you know? But then others you can feel that it's not real. And you can see it and you can feel it. So I want you to think about, how do you do that presently in your life as well? And how do you fall into that trap, because it is a trap, where you yourself end up not being authentic, and how it's fake authenticity, but not really the full expression of the truth of who you are, you know? So like, I want you to notice these places where like you do the same, even if it's small. How do you present yourself to other people in your relationships? And how are you noticing the places where you're not fully honest, and even honest with yourself, you know? And we're not all perfect. Sometimes, you know, when I'm on Instagram, like I'll post a story and it wasn't 100% true. And sometimes what I do is I actually go back and I delete it because I'm like, that doesn't resonate. Maybe it did in that moment, but then like maybe 10 minutes later, or maybe hours later, or maybe the next day, I'm like, wait, this doesn't feel true. Maybe I wasn't really in my body, and maybe I wasn't being intentional. Okay. So intentions, yeah, that's another thing, right? So it's really about like intentions. Like what is your intention, you know, for whatever it is that you are presenting out in the world, right? And then also like noticing how you participate in your role of that. I think that we're all yearning to be seen. We all want attention. We all want to have that permission to fully express ourselves, because that's really what we're here for, to be ourselves, but what is true and what's not true. And sometimes it's just like sitting down and really feeling into yourself of like, what's true right now? And whatever I put out there, not necessarily in social media, by the way, whatever thing that I'm doing, can I take responsibility for the consequence, if there's any, for the thing that I'm doing because I felt like it was true? Feel me? So it's hard to take full responsibility to live a life of truth. It's not easy. But wouldn't you want it to be that way? Wouldn't you want to have total honesty? Because that's intimacy. And I think that it hurts to live a life full of lies. It hurts. It hurts anyone, you know? Like how can you live a life of not having authenticity and lying, constantly lying to yourself and constantly lying to others? Think about how that feels inside of you. That doesn't feel good. There must be a lot of shame, a lot of feelings of like not feeling good, feeling really bad inside, and how that creates a spiral of shame and continuously just in a shame spiral. And sometimes shame feels good, right? Because some people just have a kink and they want to feel that those shame hits because that's all they know. But it hurts. It really does hurt to live a life that is full of lies and manipulation, you know? Um, and that hurts more than actually taking responsibility for living a life of truth. So, I want you to sit with that, and I want you to think about it and see how that lands for you. And yeah, noticing what's true for you and in every moment so that you can be more you. All right, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.